You don't have enough discipline to keep things going, Sierra.
Is it on?
I'm back with another video. We're gonna get to chatting about why I was in a place of failure. Let's just get started. I honestly used to think that I was just inconsistent, right? So if I could just become more disciplined, more motivated, or just stop being lazy, I would finally stick to my routines. That's just where I was at. And I noticed that this not so great kind of behavior was constantly showing up in things like skincare, working out, meal prepping, anything that you can think of, it was showing up everywhere. I would start off really strong, I would fall off, I would disappoint myself, and honestly, I just started to feel just ashamed of my own self because, you know, like after a while, when you keep restarting, you start thinking like, am I the problem? Like, am I the drama? And maybe it's just like you don't have enough discipline to keep things going, Sierra. You don't got it in you. What made it worse is how normalized it is on social media to just tell people, oh, you need to try harder, you need to be better, you need to just do it. And everything is just about willpower. You gotta have the wherewithal. Everything is motivate, motivate, motivate. Wake up early, be motivated, be motivated.
Was you cool?
I'm sorry, it was just a lot, okay? But what people really don't talk about, y'all, is how hard it is to stay consistent when your life does not support the habits that you are trying to build, okay? And this is where I need to get vulnerable, right? Because I don't think any of us or most of us are lazy. I think and know that we're exhausted, okay? I know that we are overstimulated, and I know that a lot of women, especially in my circle, we function at very high levels all day long, okay? And sometimes we don't have enough support, right? So we don't have enough mental support, spiritual support, emotional support. Support is just low, okay? Zeros across the board. And not only that, it's decision fatigue. Like, we have to make decisions every day. In the morning, what we drinking. In the morning, what we wearing. What needs to get done. Then when you get to work, you like, I got 600 emails. What email I need to answer first? What project I need to handle? And you're checking the mailbox when you get home, and it's bills. Can you pay my telephone bills? What am I supposed to prioritize? Life is lifing. And on top of that, when you do take a moment, you're exhausted. You don't want to talk to nobody. You want to think about nothing. You just want to go to bed, right? And at that point, you don't follow through on damn habit, okay? On damn nothing, okay? Everything just feels like, dang, I'm a failure. That was me. That was just my story, right? And I think that a lot of people feel like, I just got to keep starting over. Every Monday is a new Monday, and I'm a reset. Everybody talking about a reset Sunday and Monday, and I'm going to be for real this time, and et cetera, et cetera. And at some point, that starts affecting how you see yourself, right? Like, it starts with feeling like I can't really even trust myself to do the things that I said that I'm gonna do because I don't even have any follow through, right? Like, even if it is for a good reason, like I'm tired or, you know, my time of the month is here, you know, anything like that, it still creates disappointment at the end of the day. And I'll say for me, eventually I realized that the issue wasn't that, you know, I didn't want to do the things that I said I wanted to do, because I genuinely care about the results. I care about the goals, all the things. I just think that and know that the problem was that I just didn't have enough support around the things that I was trying to build. And so I think that's where a lot of women also get stuck, is that we tend to focus on routines, but routines only work in the environments that they were built in, right? And so if you try to start over, now this second start over is start overing, okay? Like, the routine is still falling apart because your schedule has shifted for whatever reason. Your energy is low for whatever reason. Work is overwhelming, and you just dead be tired. You just tired. And that routine that you built for your ideal self no longer fits what your actual life looks like right now. And honestly, like I started realizing that this was happening very much in my career every single day. And for those of you who don't know, I've worked in marketing for over a decade at this point. And the one thing that I have consistently told people is that no 2 days is ever the same. Something is always happening every 2 business days or every day, really every hour. One day I'm in meetings all day. The next minute I'm trying to manage projects and staff. Then there's an event that's thrown into the mix. And Lord and behold, there's a last minute request that needs to go to the highest of the high, and you're just mentally drained before the day even starts, before you can even have your second cup of joe. Okay. And I would say for me, like I remember that there were times where I was like, okay, I just need to be really, really strict and really, really structured with a routine that I have for myself. Okay. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna meal prep, I'm gonna have everything perfect, I'm gonna have me a nice little self-care night, I'm gonna journal, I'm gonna do all these things, I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna do it at this particular time every single day. And baby, that might have lasted 72 hours before I was like, yeah, this is not realistic. This is not ideal or realistic for me right now in this moment. And I just would start to feel frustrated because I thought the answer that the social media them folk were telling me was that I just need to do better, try harder, be more disciplined. But that just didn't work. And the more that I thought about it and thought about myself, I said, Sierra, what you need right now? And the answer that came to me was flexibility, okay? I needed things that could support me even during moments and times where I didn't even feel like I could support myself. And so it was at that moment where I realized I needed to look at how I structured things differently. And real structure is not necessarily about controlling every second of your day, despite some people feeling like that might be it. It's really just about creating support around the things that matter to you and only you, right? So that things can be easier to maintain. It's about reducing friction, reducing decision fatigue, making things more accessible to your realistic self and not about your idealized self. And one of the biggest examples for me that I'll say is skincare. I have struggled with hyperpigmentation for many, many years, hormonal acne. So being consistent in a certain kind of system or a habit is really important. And I realized that it became much easier to stay consistent when I stopped overcomplicating everything, right? So having products where I can easily see them every single morning and they're already lined up in the steps that I need them in. They're organized in a certain area on my counter. I don't have wiggle room for extra steps and everything just has a home, right? And I think what's interesting is that not only did it help my skin, like my skincare routine helped me, it helped my mind. And that's something that is not talked about enough because when your environment feels chaotic, your brain is right there with it. It's like, I'm also chaotic, right? And I don't think a lot of people realize like how much clutter and like disorganization and definitely like having to make decisions every single day really contributes to being overwhelmed. And I think that a lot of women, like we aren't failing because like we don't care, right? I think that we see failure because like we're trying to build on top of habits that really are sitting on top of exhaustion, on top of overstimulation, on top of burnout. And that's built with paper plates. Ain't no bricks in there, just all paper plates. And I realized that habits and routines and structure, like they're all different, right? Like through my lived experiences, habits are the actions that you continue doing despite the environment. Routines, like they're usually tied to a specific environment or like a circumstance, I'll say. But I think for me, like true structure or a system is like what continues supporting you even when your life changes around you, right? And that was a really big shift for me personally because now instead of like asking myself, oh, how can I be more disciplined? How can I be more motivated? How can I do the things that these people on the social medias is talking about, right? I really just had to sit with myself and ask myself, like, okay, how can I make this thing easier that I'm trying to do, right? Or what is making this hard to maintain? Why am I struggling with this? And like, what kind of support do I need, right? Like, what kind of support should I be giving myself, or should I be asking for my village and community? And that approach feels a lot more realistic and a lot more gentle. And honestly, it's way more sustainable. So if you are listening and or watching this, because I know sometimes I have my headphones in on a YouTube video and I don't be watching, but I be listening, you might not actually have a motivation problem. And here's what I want you to do. I need you to grab your notebooks and all the things, because in the next 24 hours, I need you all to make a change. It's not going to be anything extreme. It's not going to be anything that requires you to reinvent your whole entire life overnight. But it's just going to be a couple of things that should really create more support for yourself. Okay, so y'all got y'all notebooks. I got mine. Okay, so first thing first, I want you to identify one habit that always feels hard for you to maintain, right? And once you identify that, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what is making this difficult, or why do I feel difficult, right? And you're not here to judge yourself or anything like that, but this is more of just an observation, self-awareness, right? Does it require too many steps? Is it too many decisions that I need to make with this thing? Is it currently fitting my schedule? And if not, what does that look like? Because sometimes the issue isn't the habit itself. It's like the friction around the thing. The second thing is to make one area of your life more accessible to your future self. That could look like setting out your work clothes the night before, putting your skincare products somewhere that's visible on your counter, prepping your work bag, prepping your gym bag, whatever that looks like, and then like up or cleaning off a surface in your room so that it's not so much clutter, right? Because support really can be small, and it should be small, and it really should create a huge difference to you mentally. And last but not least, the third thing, please, homegirl, stop building for your ideal self, right? For a second, let's just start building for the version of you that exists right now, okay? The tired version, the busy version, the overwhelmed version, okay? Like whatever version that looks like, build for that right now, because realistic support will always take you further than perfectionism ever will. And that's coming from a girl who's very type A and a perfectionist, okay? And growth should always not feel like you're forcing yourself to become a completely different person like within 12 hours, right? I know and believe that growth is about learning how to support yourself better and potentially how other people can support you as well. So again, if you have been feeling like you constantly have to start over and do all the things every Monday, look at what it is that you're trying to do. Maybe you don't necessarily need more discipline or more motivation. You don't need to be waking up at 5 a.m. to be a 5 a.m. gym girly if you're not. But maybe you just need a life that really supports the person that you're already trying to become. And it's up to you to decide what that looks like, okay? So if you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are watching and or listening, please make sure you come back to this video and let us know what were your 3 things that you changed, okay? If you don't remember, scroll back a little bit and take your notes, write that down, do your homework, okay? Do your homework and come back to the teacher, okay, with your notes so we can do a little pop quiz and see what everyone turned in. Again, my name is Sierra Sherella. Make sure you follow me on all social media at Sierra Sherella. That's CIERACHERYELE, baby, period. Love y'all and have a good day. Mom, bye.